Okay, there we are. Hi, everybody, and welcome to my show, The Heart's Journey Show with Vicki Haspels. Had a bit of a false start there. So, welcome aboard if you're watching. If you're not on watching the footy, thank you for joining me today. Otherwise, you can watch the broadcast a little bit later. Today, I'm streaming not only on Spiritual Events Directory, but also on my own business page and on my YouTube channel. So, you can watch it anywhere. So, today, I'm going to do that in my usual format where I'm going to do my weekly tarot forecast for the first 10 minutes. And then I'm going to bring on a very good friend of mine, Kim, who runs a shop in Brisbane called Harmony Home and Body. And she has a lovely online shop as well. So she will be coming on board with us to have a bit of a chat later on about how we move through times when we're doubting ourselves. And like when that is in relation to your business life or your personal life and things like that, what are those things that makes a difference and pushes us forward, or what makes us stay in one place? So welcome everybody. Hi Carlene. I'll just show everybody. There's Donna. She's saying hi. Carlene, hi. Thank you. Deb, hi. And Melissa, welcome aboard everybody. So thank you coming aboard. Oh, get my direction right there. So I'm not traveling at the moment. I've got a little bit of makeup on, no camp chic this week, so a little bit more civilized. So with the weekly forecast, we're going to look at the energies that are influencing us this week, and I'm going to pull 6 cards and we'll look for a little bit of guidance. Now, I'm not going to do any live readings tonight. It will just be the weekly forecast, the conversation, and I'll just wind it up with a little bit of a meditation of releasing everything. You can join me tomorrow on my business page and on my Expo page, and I'll be doing live readings there, so you can join me there for half an hour. So, but let's do this week's forecast. So first of all, we're looking at the card that is influencing us right now this week, just us, you, me, what's influencing us personally. We have the 7 of Pentacles. So for us, that means that we are considering a change of direction. And we are thinking, okay, it's not so much, it's not about passion, and it's not about what's pushing us forward, but we are considering what is best for us physically, personally. We're looking at things that make us, thanks, Serena. So we are, looking at things that for us personally, whoops, I have that out of the way, that are going to satisfy our physical needs rather than what's going to be our passion or anything like that. We want something that's in the physical world that's going to satisfy us and say, you know what, I'm doing a good job and I want to actually do that forever. So now we're going to look at what the universal energy is around what's influencing us this week. So, and I like to think that that's the thing that is in our aura that we can't actually see with our right in front of us, that is giving us up that little whisper that's saying, okay, we're going to add this to your next part of your journey. We're going to add this to your physical presence in the world. And so we have this card here, which is the Page of Cups. The reason being, now you might find that you want to have a change of direction because your life, and you might be feeling super sensitive this week. So this means that the universe is going to bring us situations or people or anything that's going to make us hypersensitive or super sensitive. So just expect the things that you can normally deal with or manage or look after, which you can overlook, are going to really hit home. The Page of Cups is that really hits the heart. You think, oh, I thought I was over this. So expect a lot of things to be making you a bit anxious or overwhelmed because you are being drawn into another sort of pathway. And the reason being is that you want to have a change of direction. What you are doing, you are exploring those things that make you happy. What is it that makes you happy? What is it that makes your heart sing? And I'm not talking about doing things that you love. It's in the physical world. It's what is going to give you something back in this physical world to make you happy. It could be money, or it could be a change of job, or it could be, doing something that you love with your hands in that other direction. But the universe is going to give us a little bit of a nudge by making everything super sensitive. So it's like almost like if you had a job that you didn't like anymore and you're considering changing that job, then you'll probably find that your work colleagues or your boss or something at work is going to just hit your heart all the time this week. And it's almost like nudging you out. Okay, so now we're going to look at the energy that is going to block us or prevent us from the challenges around it. We have the Seven of Swords. So really, that's looking at, okay, it's about not being able to speak up or thinking that there is something external or around you that is influencing things. You might think that somebody's talking about you or that they are, behind your back, that sort of thing. So the Seven of Swords represents that type of energy. It also represents a type of energy the way you can't speak up or you're finding it difficult to actually articulate how you the words that you want to use. So you're going to find it difficult to fix anything or talk your way out of anything while your heart is maneuvering you or guiding you into a different direction. You won't be able to talk yourself out of it or talk yourself out of the situation or talk you down for any super sensitives or sensitivities that are going on around you. Now that sounds very intense. It sounds like we're going to have a bit of a hypersensitive week and we might find ourselves a little bit maybe teary or anxious. So let's have a look and see how we're going to respond to those situations. Oh, we have another page. It's interesting. That's the second page. So our response is that we are going to say, well, okay, if I want a different direction, how can I make it happen? And it's not about lunging or launching yourself into something straight away. You're going to do your research. You're going to say, well, okay, what do I love? You're going to explore those things that say, I want to head down this way. I really actually love to do this. I've always wanted to try that. And so you'll start to make those little research, or you might reach out to different people or get some advice around it or some mentoring around it. So expect the page is not about jumping in. It's about exploring and just feeling your way. It's interesting that we have 2 pages this week because the pages can be quite confusing energy in that it doesn't always, the message isn't always clear. So if you've got super sensitivity around you, it might be, well, why is this all happening now? It doesn't matter. What it's doing is making you go within. The page energy about how we're going to respond is like not forcing us, but it's guiding us to look within rather than looking outside for that for the answer. I say, okay, I need to actually look in. What is it that I actually really want to do? What's actually affecting me right now? So let's have a look at what the future is going to, where we're actually heading once we are following all this and we're leaning into the energy and looking at what's going to make us feel happy in the physical world. I love this one. Oh my goodness, look at this. Money, money, money. Oh, I love money, but besides that, it's always about money. But look at this, security. So this is so exciting. If you can navigate the page energy of this week and just, instead of trying to work it all out, what's the why around it all, just follow let me just get that around the right way. So follow those things that, try those things out that you've been wanting to try out. If you want to try a different direction, go and work with somebody or do some volunteer work or look at the study of things, go and talk to people, all those sorts of things. That'll satisfy that part of you that feels super sensitive. But look at this, you are heading towards, we are all heading towards security. And that's going to make us feel secure in this world. It's not about the heart or the motivation or the mind or anything like that. Anything in that respect is this feeling physically happy in this world and physically secure that we can look after ourselves and support ourselves. And that's what the 9 of Pentacles energy is all about. So that is where we are headed. That's where we will land. What is the spiritual meaning behind all of this week? What is it that is our soul journey? What is our lesson around all this? What is it that we are going within to find? We are going within to find, I love this. This is so perfect this week. We are going in to find what motivates us. We are going in to find, okay, I want to have that direction and I'm going to move in that direction. This is a card of absolute motivation. It's as much as I said to you, we're not going to launch into anything, because the page of Pentacles energy is not really about launching. It's more about little research and building things. The spiritual energy around us is about launching. So at the end of the day, this week is all about finding what you love. Finding what you love to do. Knowing that you're going to end up being safe and secure and being able and feeling supported within yourself when you actually follow that path. And the spiritual energy around that means that your soul is directing you towards what it is that you love, and that feeds you. So when you think about your soul energy, you want to have that constant feeding in the soul, feeding of the mind, feeding of the body, so that you're inviting and enhancing your own divine power by connecting with that divine power of spirit. More often than not, we are rejecting it or not tapping into it as often as we could, in order to keep those inspiration and everything going. The spiritual world, which is like with that bit of sensitivity and that little bit of like research, and this is like baby steps into things, that sensitivity and so forth is actually maneuvering us into the things that we love to do, that's going to feed us and feed our soul and feed our energy and make us feel so that we are going to say, you know what, I've actually got this. And that ties in so nicely with the talk we're going to do today with my lovely friend Kim, who is going to come in a minute. I'm going to invite her on board, and we are going to talk about what it feels like when you are not confident enough to take that next step into the thing that you love to do. So Kim has so I won't be, just a reminder, I'm not going to be doing any readings today. You can come to my business page tomorrow. I'll be doing live readings there, and across both my Expo page and my business page, but tonight it's in conversation, so, and my general reading. So anyway, I'm going to invite Kim on board now. So here is Kim. Oh, we don't have, oh, there you are.
Hello.
Hi, Kim.
Sorry, I had a little disconnection, and I'm back on board now.
But you're here. I had that same problem, don't worry.
I'm here in my pod chair. How are you?
Doing well. So thank you for coming on board tonight, Kim, and wanting to come to chat with us about moving through or getting past that initial I can't do this sort of thing. Kim, we've known each other since 2013, I think. So that's like 7 years now, right? And I went to work, yes. And I went to work with Kim in her shop. She has a lovely shop. It has several incarnations, but it's always been online. It's called Harmony Home and Body. Now I'll pop up a little banner so you can go and check her out. Where are we? Here we are. Harmony Home and Body. So you can have a look at her Facebook group or her Facebook page and have a look at her products. She has lovely beauty products. And so everybody that goes into her shop or has any contact with Kim just absolutely walks away refreshed, inspired, and the products are just gorgeous, and Kim makes them all herself. So Kim, thanks for coming on board and thanks for chatting with me today. We're going to talk about what it feels like to, the strategies that we use when we feel that we're not good enough or we haven't done enough to take that next step in our life. I would like to ask you, we were talking about this earlier on today anyway, in preparation for this, but have you at any time in your life felt or describe for us what it was like when you felt that you couldn't take that next step, or you weren't enough to take that next step? How did that feel?
Look, it happens in business in general. It does happen quite often. That's just something you get stuck in a rut and you think you can't move forward. But the main thing is that I've learned is that you have to shut out the outside noise and you've got to listen to yourself. Because there's always so much advice or negativity or whatever, and if you start listening to all of that and not listening to what you truly know, and I'm actually giving myself a reminder while I'm saying this, you'll know what I mean by that. if you listen to all the outside clutter, you're never going to move ahead. So you really need to just stop sometimes. And it's not always being stagnant. And some people think if I stop and don't keep pushing, I'm not going to get anywhere. Sometimes you need to stop to reevaluate and work out what you do need to do next. And the answer generally does come.
Yes.
You know, it generally does come. So.
No, that's good. Because I'm thinking about times when I've had that very same sort of feeling, especially in the early days when I really wanted to do readings and I really wanted to do healings, and I was learning all about it. Like this is back in the early 90s or late, like mid 90s and so forth. When it was all very exciting and very new, and I was meeting all these amazing people that were doing it regularly, and they seemed so wonderful at it. And I thought, and I was always getting that message, like, this is for you to do, and, you know, go ahead and do this. And I'd be going, but I haven't learned enough. I don't know enough. And something would always come into show me that I wanted to do it. But I think we were talking about it today, or I was talking about it with someone, or thinking about it today, is
we
that
were talking about qualifications.
Qualifications, and, you know, I don't have enough qualifications. I haven't studied enough. I haven't done enough readings. I don't know how much to charge. I shouldn't be charging, all those things. The thing that really moved me along was the fact that I wanted to be there, and I just kept pushing myself because I knew that if once I got there, I would feel better. And if I didn't do it, I felt worse. And so I always wanted to feel better.
And I think a really important thing is to surround yourself with like-minded people who are actually, that's the key also.
Yes.
Surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to give you the confidence to move forward. And I mean, we do that for each other all the time. We've just always done that. But I think that's a really important part of when you think you can't make the next step, other people can see you more clearly. And see what your abilities are. Even that lady I was chatting with, your student today, just to be able to say to them, look, you're doing really well, and you don't realise how well you are actually doing until somebody maybe outside tells you. So you need to listen to more of the positivity than the negativity, because there's enough negativity out there for, you know, everybody.
And especially in your head,
And in your head. And look, the thing is, I've generally never been somebody who considers that I can't do something. If there's something I'm interested in, I just go and do it. You know, you say, yep, I'll do that, and you work out how to do it later. And I think if everybody does that, there'll be a little less negativity in the world, a little bit more positivity, because, you know, give everything a go. I mean, gosh, that's what YouTube's for. that's what it's for, to learn. You know, you can learn these things. And, you know, fudge until you make it, really. But if you're passionate about something, there's no reason, and this goes across all boards, not just the spiritual industry, there's no reason why you shouldn't just do it. You know?
So tell me, what does it feel like when you've learned something new and put that skill to the test? What does it feel like for you when that happens? Like, what sort of, like, do you get an elation, or do you get, like, do you feel good about yourself, or do you feel powerful or strong? What are those sensations?
It's all of those things. You really do. Like, when you can be working on something for a really long time and really not know how it's going, and it might just take one person one day to say, hey, look, this whatever is really working for me, whatever you're doing. Or I've come back to buy, in my case, maybe, you know, someone's come back to buy the flower essences again because it's made them feel wonderful in just a few days and they don't want to run out, or, you know, and you can stop and you sort of go, wow, I've actually done that. And that's where I think a lot of people are afraid to actually acknowledge that they have done that, and they've provided that. That they've actually done well. It's really hard to praise yourself.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I often think about, because a lot of times when people talk, I have to shut down my ego, or I need to, you know, not listen to my ego, or my ego is too big. I think that is really not a great way to look at yourself. The ego does need to be fed. If we didn't take on that praise, or acknowledge that praise and say, hey, yes, I am good, and feed that part of our ego, we are not empty vessels. We need to actually feed ourselves as well.
Exactly. You know, there's there's a lot of taboo, and this could be a whole new subject, a whole extra
Yes.
subject about the ego. I mean, if you don't have a little bit of ego, you're never going to move forward because you're not striving towards anything, and it's the ego that wants to strive forward. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and it's not even so much the ego, but it's more the acknowledgement of something that you have actually achieved.
Exactly.
And if that's an egotistical thing, well, so be it. Who cares? You know, that's actually really important that you do acknowledge. And I know I don't do it as much as I should for myself. I have occasions where I sort of go, oh, you know, that is actually really good, that thing that I'm doing, or that service I'm providing, or that person's walked out and their day is a little lighter because I've spoken to them. And I think we need to grab those moments because that will help us going forward because we've acknowledged the little bits. It's not necessarily the big things, but the little bits along the way we have to acknowledge too. I think that's really important.
It's true. I know when somebody says, oh, that's great, or you've helped me a lot, it gives me such a great thrill that I've touched somebody's life, or that I've had helped them to make it clear, something clear. It's not about, oh, you know, I've helped somebody. It's like, oh, I'm actually good at this, you know, and I still have that little tiny little bit of a thing. Oh, I'm actually doing a good job. And sometimes, I mean, especially in the spiritual industry, because we are working often one-on-one, and we forget to reach out to our support system, that we forget that we need to have those little ticks to say, you know what, because we don't.
Well, look, we've just received a little message there from Donna, who was with us today.
You're doing well here and here.
And, you know, she...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So Donna's just, she's come up, and I know, well, you and I both know from experience that when you and I are working together in particular, we have that type of experience with people all the time. And that's something to acknowledge. And I think that comes to the fact that you and I can bounce off each other, and other people grab onto that and sort of go, well, hey, look, you know, I've got two people here giving me the courage to move forward. And that's important too, you know, build a network around you and talk to multiple people that can help you go forward and, you know, achieve what you need to achieve. And look, just, it's really hard, and I get caught up in this too. Don't be so serious. We do let the serious, Vicki, you know, I need to say, don't be so serious, because, you know, if you're not having fun with it, there's no point doing it. Now I'm telling myself that today too. But that's the truth, because, you know, this year's been very trying for everybody. So, you know, I think you need to be having a bit of fun. And I'm glad to have you back with me, I have to say. I'm just putting that out there publicly. It's, starting this year without you on board was a bit different.
Watch this space, Brisbane. We're coming back. I'm coming back in person for a couple of months.
You don't know what you're in for. With us too. Anything can happen, really.
And so it's going to be fun. No,
there.
No, that's what it's all about. We're going to have a bit of a conversation here. So now I want to talk about like moving forward. We were talking about, oh, that's right. The other thing that we were sort of touching on today was those moments every day where we are like every day, even like this morning, or in every moment, we're having those little I can't do this moments. We have that all the time. You know, that sort of like little indecision moments all the time.
How to deal with that?
Yes,
I think the way to deal with that is just coming back to your centre. You need to actually stop and breathe. As you know, I was having a few little things I was dealing with this morning when you got to the shop, and even myself, I need to remember to go, look, we need to stop and just breathe and think about what we're trying to achieve, and shut out the clutter, all the chatter, all the stuff that doesn't matter. And look, if everything's really overwhelming, pick one thing that you know that you will do well and succeed at, just to give yourself that little boost, and do that one thing just for the short term. It doesn't mean everything else gets shut out. And I just saw we've got someone there asking about how you make a decision when you have a few different interests, work,
I was
career.
looking at that too. How do you
Yeah.
suggest moving forward with making a decision when you have a few different interests? And I'm
Yeah.
sure, what would you
How
say
to
to that?
decide which would be best.
Yeah.
Why
How
do
would
you
you
have
approach
to
that?
decide? You know, you don't have to decide. You don't have to make a choice between two. You could do both. I think the best thing is to just work both your career and your work-wise, and if you're unsure, just work it all together until something will come forward to show you the direction to go. And I've found that normally happens. All of a sudden something will happen or something will pop up that either makes you dismiss something or take something else on that resonates more with you. So I think with that, with regards to making a decision, they tend to sort of present themselves. You just have to be ready to take the messages. Don't you think that, Vicki? Like, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And when people are talking like this about these things to me, oftentimes they are in a position where they are like they're ready to move forward onto something, but they're not really sure. They have a lot of little interests in or fingers in different little pies and they're not really sure which way to go. Or they're in a plateau and they're not really sure, like, hey, what are my interests here? And I'll say this is the same for Dana, is that if you, even if you just try something for a couple of weeks, you're going to get, and it only lasts for a couple of weeks, you're getting something out of it for those 2 weeks. You don't have to commit yourself long term to something if it's not going to work for you.
Well, that's right. Everything is a lesson. You know, you learn something from everything you do.
Yes.
Sometimes you might do something that is so off track and nowhere near where you want to end up. But what you learn on that journey could be really beneficial later, and you can look back and go, that's why I went through that, or that's why I ended up going in that direction, because I need that now. I'm doing that heaps, particularly with this new shop I've opened, because my last one closed in 2014. But a lot of the things I've learnt since then are right for what I'm doing now. They wouldn't have been right back then. So it's nothing's ever a wrong path. It's just a diversion or a kink in the road. And
absolutely, yes.
You know, cherish the information you're getting from it, I say, and don't make big decisions if you're not ready. Just keep going along and wait for that thing to present itself to you.
And I was just thinking, like, more often than not, if your career feels like or your work feels like it's deadlining or it's just humming along and not actually giving you any inspiration, more often than not, that's like a feeling that you need to jump ship or find something else.
Yeah.
How about considering this, is that you stay in your job because you're doing it with your eyes closed, and that's giving you time and headspace to explore other things outside of work while you're still earning a living.
And see, that's right, the financial stability.
Exactly, so important.
Even if you're hating what you're doing, you can say, well, this is funding what I really want to do. And I think if you look at it differently and go, well, or in my case, I'll just use this space for whatever until I work out what I'm supposed to be doing. And, look, I am constantly saying to people, I'm still working out what I want to be when I grow up, because I think everything is constantly changing. People put such pressure on what am I going to be or what am I going to do, and I don't think that's it's not a black and white question, because we're changing as people and we're changing as energies. I mean, the world's changed in such a massive way this year. We've got to all change with it. So I think it's just being a bit gentler and kinder to yourself along the way and just doing what works with you. Hello, everybody who's saying hello.
I've got a need on there saying that resonates with her about. I'll pop it up on thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay to let's not feel okay. Sometimes you have to be.
Of course it is. It is.
Absolutely.
And it's actually important to not always feel okay, because that's part of being human. And sometimes those lessons we learn, you don't know how that's going to help somebody else in the future that you've experienced that. Particularly in the line of work that Vicki and I are in, although we're sort of doing very different things. We can draw on things that we've personally had to experience when we're helping our clients.
Yes.
So it's, you've just got to be gentle with yourself and learn that we're all on a lesson together.
Exactly. And that's like, and as we're going, we've sort of come full circle with the whole, like, how do you overcome when you've got those, like, that self-doubt or things like that. So if anyone's got any questions about in their own life, not to do with readings or anything, but anything that they've had in their own life to overcome, if you've got some sort of hurdles that you want advice on, we're absolutely here with that. Yeah. So we've got, and so Dana has just said thank you. It says thank you for sharing that with us. Yes.
Oh, thank you
for that.
That's
lovely. That's very nice.
Well, it is. And I think that's, for those of you who don't know the history behind Vicki and I, but I think that's why people have always loved coming into a space with us, because we're really very down to earth and we just offer really practical, not woo-woo sort of advice. And that's what people like, and it is just about just being kind to yourself, kind to everybody else, and just do what you feel is right.
And so, in a very supportive space all the time.
Yeah, and it's important to have things like this, having the support and finding that support network. And look, if it can't be friends, find it in a chat room like this. Find it in a space that resonates with you, because we've had a few people come up tonight and go, that's really resonating with me. That's what you need to find. If you can't find it within your close family or friends, whatever, that's okay. You will find it where you need to find it.
Where you need to find it, absolutely. So we're going to, like you and I are going to do some meditations and work together. And Kim wants to start up her own little spirit chat channel as well. So
something I've talked about since 2013. So it is actually called Spirit Chat.
About that. Yeah. So we'll be doing some like crossover work with that as well. But Kim does a lot of work with like moon energy and full moon energy, and making those manifestations come and letting go. All that sort of, like, she loves to do group work with that as well. So Kim, can you tell us a little bit about that sort of work that you do when you get people together? Like, you've got drumming, you've got
so it's been a while since we've done that.
Just describe that because it's really hard to describe. It's hard to put a name to it. So
it actually is. So I'm trying to work out how to do this. But when you bring a group of people together, so the next one we have coming up is a group of women. But when you bring a group of people together in a positive energy, and you're also using the universal energy, so whether it's full moon energy or even new moon energy, or whether it's tides or water or fire, drumming, any sort of energy. Drumming is a really powerful one, and that will be included in this next one. You find that it creates a certain vibration that brings people together, and it brings them all onto the same level. And when you're all vibrating at a nice high level, it gives you the opportunity to tap into that spiritual energy. Because the only way, Vicki knows as a reader, the only way that you're going to be able to speak or tap into that energy, or your guides or whatever, is by raising your vibration. So doing that type of work, and sitting in circle or sitting in meditation or drumming or whatever with like-minded people who are all aiming for a sense of calm and balance in their lives, it just brings everybody up, and people walk away feeling elated for weeks, if not months, after doing such a thing.
They still talk about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, it would be great, particularly in the current climate, to see if we could do something like that online as well. And I'm sure it would work. I'm sure we could work out a way to do it. We have a lovely space, don't we, that we can use in amongst some lovely old fig trees. So long as we spray, don't get eaten by mozzies, but we do have a space we can use, and that's something Vicki and I'll look at in the future.
Yeah, we can broadcast a little bit later, but I want to talk about that group energy. We talked about finding support groups and things like that. Group energy does lift the individual.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're trying to do alone, it's actually really difficult because you need the support of others, because it's hard to keep it yourself up all the time. Whereas if you have people around you, and it's not, some people say, oh, that's being a psychic vampire, whatever. No, if you're all looking at doing the same thing, you're actually just drawing energy off each other. So sometimes people will be more up or down than others, and it's about balance and balancing each other, and that's where those circles are so important. And I'm really looking forward to this next one that's coming up in a couple of weeks. We will video some of that. We'll take some photos and we'll share. Vicki can share some of that throughout.
And you can
platform.
go onto Kim's page as well.
So you can come and sort of see what we do, and then we'll work out a way to not only do it in person, because we'll be holding them regularly in Brisbane, but somehow involve the world. And look, it would be great if we could get people all over the world drumming with us or whatever on a particular time.
Yeah,
it would be. Actually, that could be something you and I need to talk about. I quite like that idea.
Ideas, creativity.
Look, we do. We have far too many, Vicki and I. We need to rein it in sometimes and really actually focus on one or two. But it's all really good, and it is really important to when you are in those groups. It is all about just raising everybody's energy and keeping everyone balanced and lifting everyone up. There's so many, particularly in amongst women. There's so much put down and so many people wanting to put each other down, and it's really good if you can get in a group where you're all being lifted up. And I know I surround myself with people like Vicki who lift me up, and I think we all need that, and it's important. And that's what these circles and drumming circles and what are about.
Exactly. I was remembering once upon a time we were talking about it must have been something that I read once upon a time, like I think it was back in the 50s and 60s, and even maybe even the 40s, when home circles were a thing, like home meditation circles were a thing. And I think that it's actually evolved now, but once upon a time there would be the home circles, or the home meditation circles were all about building up the energy of the medium. So the medium would be the focus, and everyone that came along willingly shared their energy and created the energy of that circle to power the medium up, to bring the energy, the messages through from the spirit, so that they could be the channel. So it's that whole thing about a meditation circle, or that whether it's a drumming circle or something like that, is where, like as you said, like-minded people coming together to raise the vibration, and sitting within that, you have to consciously, if you want to stay in that circle, you consciously raise your vibration.
And the thing is, a lot of people think you have to be present to do that. Now, both Vicki and I are Reiki masters. You don't have to be present to experience energy. So we are capable of sending energy to anyone all over the world. Everybody has that ability. So that's why you might be sitting there thinking, oh, well, I've seen some from New Zealand here and some from England, saying, oh, well, I'm too far away to ever participate in something like that. You're actually not.
Clients all over the world. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Right. Intention is key. We're all tapping into exactly the same universal energy, no matter where we are in the world. So, you can all be part of something. And I think that's something we need to look at doing pretty soon, maybe.
I think so.
We need to chat.
I think we have a little question here from Gail. I'm going to put it up. It's quite a big one. But she's asking about, like, I know Gail, I've worked with Gail before, and she's a very strong medium, but it tends to put her into a bit of a depression state, or depressed, like her mood. And I know, Kim, that you've had experience with this. I know I have as well with this. That if you can talk about your experiences around that, when you are connecting with that high energy or spirit energy, and how it affects your mood, and how you've overcome that.
Well, the thing is, I am a great one for avoiding it. And we all know that if you try to avoid something that the universe wants you to be doing, something will happen. You will get sick.
And and Gail's talking about huge premonitions that you can't control and how that's going to affect strangers. And Kim has a lot of experience with that as well within her.
I actually have. It's terrifying, and it's something you really want to shut out. I guess my biggest advice, and this is something I'm still working on myself, is probably what you need to do is make sure you are constantly grounded and okay. And I think even what we're talking about today, having someone to be able to lift your vibration. And you need a support network that understand what you're going through. I've got quite a few people I could draw on and say, oh, well, I'm, this is this, and 99% of the time they'll turn around and say, well, you're supposed to be doing this, so this is why this is happening. But with regards to the premonitions, they're terrifying. I have actually been shown some pretty horrible things, not so much premonitions, but things that have happened in a rather major way. And it's not a nice experience. But you've got to understand, and I do understand this, that you're given this gift, and I sort of go gift because sometimes it's really questionable as to whether it is.
It's a skill, right? It's a skill set. It's something that you're born with. It's part of who you are.
It's a part of you, and you have to just acknowledge that. Unfortunately, it's who you are. I've been born highly empathic. I don't have a choice. I wish I did, but I don't. I feel things in ways that I really wish I didn't from people. And the only thing you can do is acknowledge that. And I think maybe, I could be totally wrong, Gail, but maybe you're not completely accepting your abilities to 100%. And maybe if you do, with regards to, don't let it depress you. Do what you need to do, whether it can be finding a way. Flower essences come to mind. So if you can find someone who does flower essences, there's something that could be really valuable to you. Really valuable. I'm actually an Australian bush flower essence practitioner. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but they're really good for taking the edge off those experiences. And you have to understand that these premonitions are a gift. And you can see what is happening. They might be very traumatic sometimes, but you need to try to work out why you're being shown them. Don't you think, Vicki, that there has to be a reason why she's being shown them? And if you can...
Do you
think so? No, I was just going to say, and if you can get an understanding of why you're being shown them in a certain way, you might be able to deal with it a little bit better.
I've worked with lots of people who have that, not only yourself and not only Gail, but other people, friends and clients as well, who have had those types of experiences where they've been shown either something that's happened in the past or something that's coming up. And then it really just messes with their thinking, with their mind, and what's their responsibility around that. And whenever I tune into their soul, the only ever message I get is, if you cannot pass that on to the relevant authorities or somebody that you can talk to about it, is that it is a way of spirit attuning you and training you to check into your own connection to them. It's a way of making you turn inwards and say, well, okay, this is a real thing.
And never be afraid to actually tell someone. If you do, Vicki just said the authorities. I have myself had to talk to police about something I was shown. They do have a department, even in Brisbane, for that, believe it or not. The police departments have a psychic division, and they do actually want to hear from you. That you won't be labelled crazy. They actually have a division for that, which surprised me. The only way I found out was I actually have a friend in the police force, and he said to me, no, we want this information, and they took the information. And sometimes that's all you need to do is pass it on, and then that relieves that pressure from you. Your job's done. So I know yours are premonitions, yours are slightly different, but it still could work in a very similar way.
And oftentimes the response,
I was just going to say, you might sometimes be shown something and then it happens, but then you've been given that knowledge to be able to share later on. So there could be another way of looking at it.
Or to bring in an understanding around it. Like you're getting a heads up, there's somebody, they're going to come and see you. But I often think that the responsibility that we feel is one that we put on ourselves, rather than nobody else is asking us, other than we feel responsible within ourselves, which is something that we actually have control over.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary, Gail. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I love the idea. The support thing is absolutely.
Yeah.
I always think about meditation circle like Fight Club, right? Whatever happens in circle stays in the circle. It is a safe space to express yourself. I mean, I've had some really interesting things that come through when I've been in circle and doing things, and that's the place that I get to share it with people who go, yeah, that's fine. I've had that happen to me, or you know, similar to what's going on here.
We're going back to the support network and the group of people. I don't know, it's maybe something we could even look at starting up online as a group thing for people who experience specifically this type of stuff. But Gail, for non-believers, well, there's no point trying to talk to non-believers. There's no point.
And your doctor only knows the realm of the
I mean, look,
if
it became dangerous, yes, you need to speak to somebody. But I think there's ways. If you're in Brisbane, I'd probably like to talk to you. I think there's ways.
Yeah.
I think, Gail, we could really sort you out with that, honestly. So if you are in Brisbane, contact me through my business page, Harmony Home and Body on Facebook. And I mean, even if you're not, look, I do think there's a way we could work around that. I really do.
Absolutely. I think we might leave that there. I think that's really good point.
Yeah.
Yes. So do you think there's anything else, Kim, that we need to chat about tonight?
Look, you and I could chat for hours.
I might run out of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
is that like what would you like to promote?
Me? Oh, I don't need to promote anything.
Harmony Home and Body. Come visit the
Harmony
shop.
Home and Body. I'm actually in Old Country Town, Whiteside, on the north side of Brisbane. I'm in the old courthouse there, a beautiful old building. And, it's a very different shop to what I had before, but we've got a lot of exciting things coming up. I do make all my own herbal and beauty products. I'm a bush florist practitioner, Reiki master, blah, blah, blah. But, look, I'm not undermining any of that, but I'm just saying, we do a lot of things. And Vicki and I'm very excited to have her back. When I found out just over a week ago that she was coming back to work with me, I was very happy because we'll have a lot of exciting things coming up. We haven't worked out what they are yet, but it'll be great.
No, come and visit. Yeah, absolutely. And and Dana wants the business link in the comments. We'll do that for you. Absolutely, Dana. We'll pop the Harmony Home and Body business link.
So if anyone is really struggling with anything, particularly emotional issues, get in contact with me, because working as I do with flower essences is a really powerful thing, and they're Australian bush flower essences. These are things that have been used for thousands of years, and they just work. They're highly popular in stores. So if I wanted to promote anything, I'd say that's probably the most important one, particularly for tonight's conversation, wouldn't you think, Vicki?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, Kim, and it's been fun. Thanks for sharing your wisdom with us.
So I'll say wisdom there's been, but look, all these lovely people who have joined us. It's been really nice reading all the comments, and I'm glad that we've been able to help. But Vicki can give you all my details if you want to get in contact with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that.
That's okay, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, Kim.
Bye. Bye.
Great. So thanks for that. Thanks everybody for sharing that and joining in. I'm going to put my little thing up there now. So we're going to just wind up the show. I've got 10 minutes to go. So I thought what I might do, because we brought up a lot of different subjects, and we brought up a lot of emotional things about, especially tapping into that psychic side, and tapping into sometimes the trauma of bringing through messages and that real sort of wanting to overcome the ego that wants to. We think we can't have that ego part of us. We can't celebrate the successes that we have. I want to also acknowledge like having that circle, having that sharing that is so important, that support system that is so important, because walking your spiritual talk or living a spiritual life can sometimes be very lonely, as Kim said, and it can be really like you can feel isolated, because if you're in a space, especially in the workspace, there might not be anyone who that you feel that you can share, have a bit of a chat with, or have a bit of a laugh with, or even speak your own language. And even myself, there's only very few people that when we get together, it's like we're talking a different language, because we don't even have to use words. We just come together and we just go blah, 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 and it all makes sense no matter what. So there's only very few people in the world that I can do that with. So having that support group that you can just say what you need to say with love and with acceptance in that space. So what I'm going to do, I thought a nice way to finish up the show every week now is to just do a little meditation to say thank you. And we're going to do some deep breathing, and because that is my superpower, is meditation. And we're going to bring all the elements in, especially all the things that we talked about tonight, all the things that we thought about tonight, and creating that high vibration that Kim talked about. We're just going to breathe it in, take it down. I want everyone to just place your hands on the sacral chakra and taking some nice deep breaths in with me. So breathing in and taking the thoughts and the breath down to your hand on the sacral chakra, and breathing out. And on the next breath, we're going to breathe in all the peace, love, and calm that we have created from this joining today. So breathing it in, taking it all the way down to the sacral chakra, taking a nice deep breath in. And on the out breath, you're going to release all the stress, all the things that have been caught up and wrapped up, and all of these thoughts, letting it all go out into the universe, into the space that we've created, letting it out. Again, breathing in the nice peace, love, harmony. Breathing on the out breath, letting go all those things that hold you back, all those choices that you think you have to make, all those absolutes or absolute decisions, letting it all go. Breathing in peace, love, and calm, and connecting to that inner wisdom. And I can feel it already taking place. Breathing out, dropping the shoulders, relaxing everything, relaxing all the muscles, letting it all go. We're going to do one more little breath in, a big breath. And this time I want you to go to the center of your being. I like to think that it's just behind the navel. I would like you to focus. There's a energy light or energy ball that sits just behind the navel, about the middle of the body. Energy core. Take all of your breath into that core, and you're going to, when you're breathing in, you're going to build up the energy. It's like you're creating an energy build up. And on the out breath, you're extending that energy to fill up your whole body, all the way down to your feet, to the top of your head, down to your fingertips, extending it all on the out breath. One more breath in, and we're powering up that core again. That's the divine power, or our soul power, powering it up with the breath. And on the out breath, extending it now past the body, out into your aura, and extending your aura to the front, to the back, side to side, top to bottom, to a place that's comfortable for you. One more breath in, just down to the sacral chakra to settle the energy. And breathing out. And so we've settled all of that, and we have released all of our concerns, all of our thoughts, all of that healing, to just now bring in those insights that we're needing. So just a bit of housekeeping before we go. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm back again next Sunday. Thanks for, if you're watching the football, thanks for coming to see me. I have live readings tomorrow on my Facebook page and on my Expo booth page on Spiritual Events Directory Expo booth. So look for that on my Facebook page, half an hour of live readings. I still have to catch up with the others from last week. If we have the spammer, and we have spammers, and I apologise about that, but we have the spammer again, I have other ways of dealing with that. We're going to have other strategies for that. So, because that gets a bit takes over my comments. I have, as you can see here on my Thursday nights, I have a membership group meditation circle. So we meet once a week and we do channeled meditations and we bring through messages from the world of spirit for ourselves and for everybody else. Thanks, Carleen. Okay, everyone resonated. Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Carleen. Lovely to have you all on board. Thank you, Need and Wendy. So thank you very much, everybody. What else do I have? Come and see me. I do readings. Everything's online at the moment, but I am in Brisbane. I haven't got my dates up just yet, but that's what I'm working out over the next couple of days, where I'll be and what my dates are and times and everything. So you can just come do some in-person stuff with me. And otherwise, everything is online. What else am I doing? I'm readings, healings, and coaching. So you can come and see me for those things. I promise you, we'll have a good time and we'll work it out and we'll get down to the nitty-gritty of it. On the 8th of November, I have the Spiritual Events Directory Expo. So we do a virtual expo once every 6 weeks or so. And this time, if you're in Brisbane, you can come and see me in person. I'm going to be running it live as well as online. So you can contact me. It will be a small charge for that, but there'll be prizes, and there will be giveaways and all sorts of things on the day if you want to come in live and do that with me. But otherwise, it'll be also virtually on my Expo booth. So anyway, I'm going to wind up and say good night to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been wonderful. Keep the comments coming. Keep in contact with each other. And it's lovely to see new friends and old faces as well. So same bat time, same bat channel, next Thursday night at 7:30. With love from me to you. I'll talk to you then. Bye.